Hi, this is Mike. This tutorial is going to be on why digestive disorders seem to be so country specific. Earlier in my life, I lived overseas for 2 years. I actually lived in Hong Kong. It was a very stressful time in my life. I had a digestive disorder, and even though I was working a lot, it was very stressful and should have been ideal circumstances for my condition worsening. Instead, I got better. Then when I got back to the United States, I noticed the condition that I had, which was partially nervous stomach and some heartburn and a digestive disorder as well, it returned. I had kind of forgotten about it. It had basically left me, and then it returned when I got back to the United States after 6 or 8 or 10 months. I started thinking about it, and I realized that this disorder must be diet related. It certainly wasn't the air or the water in another country that alleviated my symptoms. When I got back, my condition worsened over time. I began experimenting. When I had lived in Hong Kong, almost the rest of the meal, besides the rice, was comprised of what we call the watery vegetable group. Now, it's true that in that culture, there is a small amount of a protein food, usually fish or chicken, but eating it in that proportion, I would say it was very close to the 9-to-1 ratio that we recommend, and that was all that anyone ever ate. No one ever ate like we do here in the United States or in the Western countries, where you get a pile of a carbohydrate, maybe another carbohydrate like a roll, there's potatoes, and then there's a big slab of some kind of meat. And even every sandwich is a near 50-50 mix, grams-wise, of a protein and a carbohydrate. In the 200 or so countries that virtually do not have any of these digestive disorders, they eat a little bit more of a primitive diet, which usually consists of a very inexpensive food comprising over 90% of the diet. Inexpensive foods are almost always some form of carbohydrate. They eat a lot of cellulose, watery type vegetables that have a good amount of fiber, almost a 90 to 95% mix of carbohydrates to a very small percentage of proteins. Very close to a little bit more extreme measure that we suggest to you to get over these digestive disorders. And as a matter of fact, we have found that the Asian style diet might be a partial solutionist way to get back to eating normal after you have healed yourself using our recommended protocol. That's the short answer to why these diseases actually don't exist in most countries and why they're so concentrated and prevalent here in a few countries. Thanks.